What's up, guys? Guys, I want to make sure that this video is on topic today. I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels and I'm hearing the same thing over and over again. Honestly, I have stopped watching like Manchester United related videos because I'm just hearing the same thing on every single channel. I'm hearing the same thing I've heard last week. I'm hearing the same old ideas and the same issues. I hope today we can talk a little bit differently than what I've been hearing on other channels. We can take the discussion to somewhere else other than this Ruben Amorim out movement and everything else. Because honestly, guys, like, let's get real. The idea that you sack this manager and poof, this squad suddenly plays at an elite level is insane logic, guys. If changing the name on the office door of the manager is going to fix bad passing, making stupid decisions, lazy tracking back, and just BS movement off the ball, then honestly, we would have been solved like years ago. Yeah, the system does matter, but standards matter more. I think we need to push the reset button, and I don't think it has to do with the manager being reset. Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe one day he'll have to go. I just don't think that day is right now because we have other bigger issues that need to be solved, and I'm not hearing enough of that when I'm tuning in and watching pundits, other content creators, or anybody else. All I keep hearing about is the system doesn't work, the manager's making bad decisions and everything else. I'm not saying this manager hasn't made mistakes. What I'm trying to get at is just it's not going to work. Changing managers is not going to work. It might get you a couple more wins, maybe, but it's ultimately not going to work. We're still going to be upset about it. And I have some things to say about it. We're going to talk about it in this stream, and I want to hear what you guys have to say, and we're going to go, we're going to go from here. We're going to change the discussion. I'm not going to say the same things you've heard on other channels. I'm actually sick of it myself. Like, it's something that I spend my time doing. It is watching Manchester United news or listening to Manchester United news pretty much all day long, and I haven't been able to do that. I've had to tune out, change channels, look for something else to watch on YouTube, and it actually makes me upset because it's like my normal routine is being disturbed because nobody has an original idea. No one. I keep hearing the same things. Guys, let's look at the chat. Let's get you guys involved. That's why we're doing this live. Thank you, Be Cool. Thank you, Marcus, for being here. Ayush, welcome, man. You guys are all members, too, which is crazy to see in the chat. All I'm seeing is member logos right next to your names and green names. That's so cool, man. I really appreciate you guys. David, you're welcome, too, man. I really do appreciate all of you guys for helping me do this and just kind of giving me hope that one day maybe I could be doing this full time. So let's read some of the comments. Let's get into the discussion. Let's talk about some things. I have some other things that I want to say and get off my chest, and we'll see where this goes. Let's start with the first comment I'm seeing here is it's not a discussion anymore. It's an agenda. Exactly 100% right, Marcus. I feel like it's an agenda. I feel like it must get clicks, right? Like, it must get clicks or else it wouldn't be done, because I'm starting to see things in like this very negative light where I just cannot allow myself to believe that most of these people are actually that clueless, that most of these people might actually believe that changing managers is going to solve the problem. I've heard Oliver Glasner's name brought up so many times by so many people. Oliver Glasner's winning with the same system. He should come in because it's the same system. He can use the same players. Dude, it's the same players. What is Oliver Glasner going to do? He's going to change hey, instead of you covering that ground, this player is going to cover that ground. Yeah, sure, but how is that going to change what passing decision they make, or how good the pass is, or their work rate? How is that going to change the quality of our players? Guys, let's talk about any manager you want to talk about, okay? Any manager you want to talk about, a successful one, has only become successful when they've taken over a team with a squad that is capable of being successful. Carlo Ancelotti at Everton didn't freaking win the Premier League. He goes to Real Madrid and he wins a bunch of Champions Leagues and La Ligas. Why? Because Everton's squad is nowhere near as good as Real Madrid's squad. The fact that I have to say this actually upsets me. The fact that I have to sit here and think of these arguments actually upsets me because it's not that. It doesn't take brains. It does not take brains. Someone who's actually in the sports world will tell you that when I go to events, tournaments, competitions, whatever it is, the players are the ones that are going to play, not me. I can only do the best to prepare them to play their best. But whether their nerves take over their decision making or not has nothing to do with me. You might want to get in a psychiatrist or something like that to help them with that. I don't know. Or their quality is just not good enough. Their standards aren't good enough. They're not working hard enough. Who knows? It could be a million things. But the point is, the players are a hell of a lot more important than the coaches. Give me good players, like really high quality players, and I could coach a win against Grimsby. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm not even a football coach. I'm not a soccer coach or football coach. I don't know half the things that Ruben Amorim knows about the game. But if you give me quality players, I could probably coach a win against Grimsby. But you give me players who aren't willing to run, we're going to lose 7-0 because I'm not really that good as a coach. As a football coach. You get what I'm saying? Love your channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, man. Glasner would have us top 4. Yeah, because somehow Glasner is going to teach Diogo Dalot how to pass in the final third. Somehow Glasner is going to teach Diogo Dalot not to run away from his mark because Big O that just doesn't understand that Glasner has midfielder who can ping the ball in what's his name? I'm really bad with names. Glasner has a midfielder who can ping the ball left and right. Glasner has a team who makes smart decisions. When one of their offensive players has the ball and he has 3 options in front of him, they usually choose the right option. Whereas our players try to squeeze the ball in the tightest angle instead of giving it to the wide open guy on the left. They'll try to squeeze it to a tight angle on the right. Do you understand? There's a nerve issue in our team. There's a confidence issue. There's all kinds of problems. It's not just quality. I'm not saying our players are bad, but I'm saying our players in a collective have so little confidence in themselves, so little killer attitude in themselves that they can't lift each other up. They actually drag each other down. The new players are excluded from this conversation, by the way. And Big O, let's get to Big O. I like Big O. Big O's always in my comments telling me how wrong I am. Big O's cool. I like Big O. At least he does it. At least he does it with respect. At least he doesn't disrespect me and call me names. But Big O, do you know who would get rid of Ruben Amorim right now and instead of solving the actual issues, solve the wrong problems? Do you want to guess? Because I'm gonna show you who it is. Your main man, the guy who would make that decision to sack Ruben Amorim now and look for the easy solution in getting Oliver Glasner, the easy idea that takes not much brains, is your guy over here, Ed Woodward. Ed Woodward would do exactly what you said. So, because that's simple mentality. That's, oh, no, we don't have a big issue. I bought superstars. I need to get rid of my manager and get another one in. That's what Ed Woodward would have done. Believe me, that's exactly what Ed Woodward would have done. And Oliver Glasner would have probably been the one he'd go for. That's the kind of thinking I think we're heading towards. I don't like it. I thought we're going to move forward. I thought we're going to rebuild. This isn't rebuilding. Am I saying the manager is not making mistakes? Oh my God. Tomorrow's game? Come to the watch along, because if he picks the same starting lineup, I'm going to go in on him. Because it's time. It's time to bench some of these players. I get that. I totally understand that. But I'm telling you right now, he's going to bench some of these players and we might still lose because the guys coming in off the bench aren't that good. I'm sorry, they're not that good either. But that's the kind of decision making Ed Woodward would make. He would get rid of this manager before the job is complete and look for the easy answer. Do you understand? And get the fans all on side again. And then we fail again. And then we go again doing the same thing over and over again, and the rebuild never happens. Make sense? Because believe me, that's exactly what he would do. I can't picture him doing anything different. Big O says Delo won't be a wingback to begin with if Glasner took over. Really? Mazraoui wasn't available. Ahmad wasn't available. So who would have been wingback, Big O? You can't just say things, man. You can't just like poof, say something, genius. You got to back up what you're saying. Who would be wingback? Oh, and please do not tell me that it would have been, what's his name, Mbumo, when Mbumo's the only one scoring goals. Mbumo was the only one scoring goals before that game. He scored 2 goals in 2 games. You want to take Mbumo farther away from the goal and put him at right wing back? Like, that's not, is that how you think a coach should think? Is that how you think a manager should think? Like, because it's not. It's not how it works. Like, we don't just, oh, let's just try this wild idea right in the middle of a competition. That's not how it works, dude. But don't get me wrong. I'm with you in that tomorrow's game, I need to see changes. I don't know who needs to be benched. I'm not going to sit here and talk like, you know, some of the things I've seen lately where like, oh, this guy should be benched. That guy should be. I do have my own ideas. I do want some people benched, but I don't know how realistic it is. I don't know. We're going to find out tomorrow. And we need to see something different tomorrow, or else I'll go in on him too. But even if I go in on him, I don't think he should be sacked. I know that's hard to understand, but it's because I want the actual problem solved. I don't want the wrong problem solved. I don't want to go, there's something wrong with my engine, let me change the tires. No, there's something wrong with your engine, change your engines. Don't be like, oh, I need some brand new tires. I'll give you the best example. Listen to what I'm about to say. I just thought of something I want to say. And I know this might upset some of you, but stay with me. If your wife's cheating with your husband, if your wife's cheating with the neighbor, you don't just move house. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't just go, oh, I'm going to buy a different house 10 miles away or 100 miles away. And then let's say you do that and you think, all right, this neighbor is a punk. I'm going to move 100 miles away. You move 100 miles away. A year later, she's cheating with that neighbor of that new house, the new neighbor, and then you move house again. These players are like that cheating wife, bro. You keep moving houses and they keep cheating. Do you understand? And you want to move another house? Like you want to move to another house? What is the deal? What is the law? Where is this logic coming from? You guys are like, come on, man. Come on, dude. Listen, get yourself a new wife. Get yourself some new players. And if, I don't know, if the new one cheats, then the husband has some issues and we need to get a different husband. You get what I'm saying? Like, then you change the manager. I don't know how that worked, but you get what I'm saying? Like, first, make sure the wife is worthy of a new manager. What? Where is this going? All right, let's read some of your comments. ETH did that and got sacked. Yeah, he did. You just need to look past season table positions to get to Europe. You can lose at least 10 games. True. Amorim keeps playing Bruno, Maguire, Shaw, and Delo. They've been at the club the longest. Why does the manager keep selecting them? Okay, so that I can agree with. That's Gregory. I can agree with that. There are some things that need to change. He has to show us that he's willing to change. But here's the thing, guys. Here's what I want to ask every fan to do. If he makes these changes, if tomorrow Bruno's benched, maybe Bruno's not benched, but Maguire's benched. Maybe some changes are going to happen tomorrow. In my opinion, I think the goalkeeper. There are already rumors that Lamens is going to start tomorrow. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I think I read something like that on X that there are rumors that Lamens is going to start tomorrow. The point is this: there will be at least 2 changes to the starting lineup, in my opinion, tomorrow. Maybe even more. If he makes these changes and he still loses, I don't want the fan base to act up because it's like, bro, you asked him to change things. He's trying to change things. There's no quality in this team. Guys, why do you really, managers can't make winners out of losers, man. But don't get me wrong, like individually, these players are not losers. That's not what I'm saying. But as a collective, these players are damaged. Do you understand? Like the confidence is damaged. They're a damaged group. We need a new group. We need new energy. The new players have that. And Mbumo and Cunha, you can tell what they want the ball. They want to impact the game. Cunha may be a little too much. Like, he's taking some shots where I'm like, dude, I get what you're trying to do. I understand you're trying to help the team, but just relax and like pass a little bit. Like, you don't have to shoot every time you're around the box. But he's trying at least to like influence the game. He's trying to pull us out of the BS we're in. And I like that. So I don't blame the guys behind me there in the posters, the 3 new guys. I don't blame them at all. I have nothing but respect and love for them. But the thing is, we need to like get rid of the toxic group around them, or else they're going to be like that too. You get what I'm saying? We need to get rid of the toxic group around them so that they're not affected by next season. And it starts this January. This January, we need to bring in 2 more players, at least have 5. Almost half the starting lineup needs to be this new players who aren't infected by this loser virus that we have. And again, I'm telling you right now, if our players left individually, like Scott McTominay, like Rasmus Højlund, if they left individually and joined other teams that have a good group around them, they're actually decent, okay players. But as a group, they don't work. And it's happened in other sports teams before. I've seen it in my own workplace, like, especially even in a group of coaches. Like, I don't coach by myself. There's a group of coaches. If the coaches have lost a lot, like sometimes we need to get rid of half our coaches and bring in new coaches. And then we start churning out more successful stories, if you will, instead of failures. Do you understand? Like, the group matters. The group dynamic matters. And the coaches we got rid of aren't bad coaches. They just weren't a good fit. It's the same with players. They're not a good fit, and not only like technically, even though I do think they're not a good fit technically for the system, but not only technically, because we've had other managers in the past who use different systems who maybe these players are actually good for, but they still didn't win, and that's because they don't fit emotionally, like as a team. Like, camaraderie is not there, encouraging each other is not there, holding each other accountable is not there. You need a couple of different personalities to mix. You can't have a group of a bunch of nice guys. You just can't. You also can't have a group of a bunch of jerks, because then they'll just keep infighting. You need the right mix. We don't have the right group, and you want to bring in another manager? And then what happened? What if the manager actually likes some of the players we need to get rid of? At least this manager is exposing how many players we need to get rid of. What if we bring in Glasner? What if Big O's right? What if we bring in Glasner and we win a couple more games, right? Not enough to challenge for any titles, but we win a couple more games and we're in the top 8 or whatever. We're doing better than we're doing now. And Glasner really likes Diogo Dalot. I would be so upset, man, because it's time for him to go. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, what if Glasner really likes Maguire and wants to give him a contract extension or whatever? Like, I wouldn't be happy about it. I wouldn't be happy about it. And that's my fear. It's like, let this man finish the rebuild, and if we're still not performing, get him out. Get him out. I'm with you. If in January they provide him 2 more players, because he needs a center mid and a wing back. They need to provide him 2 more players. If they provide him 2 more players and we don't start to see a better team after January, let's get him out in the summer. I'll be with you. But right now, I cannot agree with you. I can't even come close to agreeing with you. All right, guys, I'm sorry. I gotta read some of these chats. I agree with all of this, Simix Football, but the answer can't be keep putting the same pieces in place and expect it to be different. Exactly. I hope I see change tomorrow. Ben, you'll probably be at the watch along tomorrow. I hope I see change. You'll see me not be happy if I don't see change. Football team is like a puzzle. You need to have all the pieces to complete it. You cannot have mismatches and out of place pieces. That's actually really well said. A football team is like a puzzle, and the pieces have to fit. The better the pieces fit, the more wins you have. Look, you can carry 1 or 2 or 3 players in a squad, but you can't carry 5 or 6 like we're doing. We're probably carrying more than that. Carry means guys who don't perform at a high standard. You call that you're carrying them, because other guys have to burden their weight on their shoulders. Big O, it's not like they dropped down to 10 men as a charity. That point about the low is perfect, especially the low. Pick that thought from my brain. Glasner, sorry. I'm not sure what that means. Amaramin, thank you. P.S. What's up, dude? Here we go. I haven't even read what P.S. says, but P.S. and I, we kind of argue a lot. Sameeks, my guy, hopefully this is a blessed Friday for you and everyone. Oh, man, now I feel bad. P.S. God bless, dude. Thank you so much for coming by and stopping by and saying hi, man. Yeah, I always enjoy your chats, even if we don't agree. Amarim, but Amarim will make it to the next transfer window. If Glasner brought Gehi, Munoz, and Wharton with him, I'm good with that scenario. Stephanie, without Glasner, if we brought Gehi, Munez, I think, and Wharton, we'd already be good. We wouldn't need Glasner. You understand? Like, we would already be good. David, thank you so much for the bids, dude. For the super chat. Thanks for the videos. You welcome, my friend. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for contributing. These two positions are mandatory. Those two positions are, the center mid and the wing back for sure. If Amarim keeps playing the same players, he is just doing what he did with Rasmus. Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't know why he didn't pick Xerxes at all when Rasmus was around, but you're also seeing it now. Like, he's very... Xerxes and Manu, he's very late in subbing them in when sometimes you look at the game and you go, hey, man, we got to try something different. Why aren't Xerxes and Manu getting on? I don't know why. I'm so curious about these kind of things. I would love to know what's happening statistically and in training that is showing him that Xerxes and Manu are not people he can rely on to turn games around. Because, guys, he's not doing it he wants to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants to win. He's not doing this because he's a jerk or he's like, oh, I like this guy more than I like that guy. He benched one of his closest friends when he was at Casapia. When he was at Casapia, the guy whose kid he's the godfather of, he literally benched, and then he tried to sell him because he told him, like, I love you, but you're too old for the kind of team I want to play in. You don't have the legs for it, for the kind of football I want to play. But then he kept the guy. He kept the guy because the rest of the squad said that they wanted him to play. Or something. Or maybe that guy was late to two meetings. P.S. LOL. Oh, hey, listen, I said it before. I'm Amarim in, but I just want him to try things. Yep. Yeah, I get it, man. Me too. I'm really, really ready to see something new tomorrow. Arteta is 8 years in without a trophy, Big O. Central midfield is key to fixing the disease killing us. Central midfield and wingbacks. Guys, in his system, without Kenda, Sporting wouldn't have been as good as it is. Kenda's such a good player. Like, I am so upset. Kenda's actually, in my opinion, Kenda was a more valuable player than Victor Gyökeres was for Sporting. Don't get me wrong, Gyökeres scored all the goals. But, like, if I were to buy one or the other, I would spend more money on Kenda because Gyökeres is already 27, 28 years old, whereas Kenda's like 18, 19, and he just looks so good. He's got a little bit of Vinicius Jr. in him from a wingback position. Kenda would have been amazing. I'm really mad that Chelsea got him instead of us. Kenda's really good. The weight on his passes are really good. He sees the game pretty early. Like, that's a wingback. That's a wingback. He's actually a good winger, period, not even a wing back. But he's a pretty good wing back. That would have been a great one, man. That would have been a great one. But we need a wing back because that really opens up the game, makes the opposition go wider, spread wider. But also we need a wing back that is not trained as a fullback, like Frimpong was, like Kenda is. These guys are trained to go forward, like Dani Alves, okay, like Marcelo. These guys are trained to go forward. Our wingbacks think defense first, which is killing us because it's making it easy for the other team to pin our wingbacks back. Something small like that actually kills the spacing on the pitch. It kills the spacing on the pitch. And then Diogo Dalot, just even when he's in the right place, the decisions he makes just make me want to like punch the TV, honestly. I understand why Amarim punched the TV last season. Because I wanted to a couple of times. Except that I don't have Manchester United buying me a new TV, so I can't punch mine. James mentioned that Amarim has been advised to play his own game instead of adapting to opponents. Do you agree that he was doing this? Do you agree with the advice? I agree with the advice. Do I agree that he was doing this? If he was advised to play his own game instead of adapting to the opponents, then he must have been doing that, Philip. So if that info is true, that, and James gets good information. Let's not kid ourselves. Like, James tapped in. If that information is true, which I'm guessing is, I'm guessing there's 90% probability that it is true. I think that he was probably preparing for opponents too much. And I do agree that he needs to just focus on his system, running his system, because his players, if you're doing that and you're preparing for the other team, then you're giving your players like, okay, look, this is the way we play. But against Brentford, we're going to play our way, but also we got to play our way with these tactical tweaks to deal with the opponent. Our players aren't smart enough to handle that. Our players they still haven't even pulled off our way of playing yet for them to be able to pull off our way of playing and also a tactical tweak every week. I'd be like, bro, I don't care if we win or if we lose. Do our way, no matter what, until they memorize our way, like the back of their hand. And then you could start making slight tactical tweaks depending on your opponent. So yeah, Philip, that's my answer to that. I wouldn't do that yet because our players don't even know our actual way of playing like the back of their hand. They still make mistakes. Ahmed, what's up, man? Dinner time. I have minutes. Xerxes and Menu slow for him. Amarim want fast action and direct. But I understand that, but why not put in a Xerxes or a Menu in the last 15, 20 minutes of the game when the other team's already moving slower? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's my mentality is I'm like, okay, I agree, by the way. Xerxes and Menu are too slow. I don't. Look, if tomorrow they start, I'm fine with it because he needs to make radical changes. But normally, I wouldn't want to start Menu or Xerxes because I do believe that they're slow. Not that they're not talented. They're actually some of the most talented players we have on the squad. But they don't have the speed of thought and play to really run efficiently in this Ruben Amorim system the way it's supposed to run. We're not running it the way it's supposed to run. So I totally understand if he starts them tomorrow. And I'm all for it. But why not put them, even if the system is running the way it's supposed to run, why not put them in the 70th minute when we need to change something because the game's not going our way and the opposing team, the opponents, are not running like they were running in the first 5 minutes? Why not put them in? That's where I come from there. As you spot the low in your video, I think you understand why I said like the low screaming to other players. Yeah, I think he doesn't value tricky and technical players in our squad who aren't that fast. Correct, Miracle. Hey, Miracle. Hey, man, how are you, dude? I think I saw you in a chat or a comment yesterday. Yeah, I think Mbumo should have played right wing back last game. It's way too important for the system. Just scoring in the last game isn't enough justification. We have 3 good 10s that could have played there. I don't know, man. I'm not sure about Mbumo playing wingback. I understand he could do it, and he'd probably do a pretty good job, to be honest with you. But I think we need Mbumo closer to goal, and we just need a wingback not to make stupid mistakes. But that's dumb of me to say. Even when I'm saying it, I'm like, how smart does that sound? I just said we need someone who's not going to make dumb mistakes, and our wingbacks make dumb mistakes. Maybe Mbumo should play there. I don't know, man. It's such a tough puzzle to solve. And the fact that we're all on the manager's case for having to struggle with this puzzle to solve because his puzzle pieces are just not great. They're not great. Big O, Amorim is slow because because had he adapted and won Europa League or improved table position, he gets his players anyway. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe if we would have made it to Champions League, you would have got us players. But let me ask you, like, we spent £270 million this summer. Do you really think the Glazers and Ineos was going to spend, if we would have made Champions League, do you really think they would have spent $400 million? I just don't think so. I just don't think we have the kind of owners that'll ever drop $400 million in one summer. I hope I'm wrong because I'd love to see a $400 million next summer and just change over the team. Just Bruno, bye. Casemiro, bye. Well, they're already going to... Well, I can't guarantee Bruno's going to leave. Casemiro's already going to leave. I just want to see a bunch of, like, Luke Shaw. See you later. Guys, look at the players that we need to get rid of for a second, and then tell me why everybody thinks we need to challenge for the top 4. We need to get rid of Diogo Dalot, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Maguire, Luke Shaw. That's 5 I just named without stopping or thinking. Who else? And I'm sure if I stop here and I let you guys in the chat go, you're going to give me another 4 or 5 players that still need to go and be recycled. Imagine looking at Real Madrid and going, they got to get rid of 8 players. Oh, by the way, but they better win the La Liga. Nah, dude, it doesn't work that way. Like I said, you can carry 1 or 2 or 3 players. You can't carry 6, 7, or 8 players. You just can't. And then expect high standards and be like, oh, why aren't we winning? Why aren't we winning? Why do you think we need to get rid of 7 players and then also think we should be winning? Like, that doesn't make sense. Imagine the coach, right? Imagine if you're coaching that team and you're like, wait a minute. So you agree 7 of these players aren't good enough, but you somehow think that I should get sacked if I can't win with them. Then how is that logical? Is Wharton faster than Mainu? I'd bet the benches crew. Ooh, I like this question. Big O says, is Wharton faster than Mainu? I'd bet the benches, Cruz, and Scholes in their prime because they're not running fast enough. Big O, thank you for asking me a coach kind of question that I can answer as a coach. Hopefully, you'll understand my logic, because if you don't, then I can't help you. Mainu is not faster than Wharton, or Wharton is not faster than Mainu. Scholes is not fast. Cruz is not fast, but you know what they do fast? They make decisions fast and they move the ball fast. If you can't run fast, you move the ball fast. Mainu doesn't do either. I'm sorry. That's just truth. And I like Mainu. He needs to learn. His job is to do that. If you are not going to run fast, then you got to make decisions fast and you got to pass the ball fast. Cruz did not cruise on the ball when it wasn't time to cruise on the ball. Cruz can move the ball 50 yards in 4 seconds because his pass was that good. And that's what Wharton does. The reason why Wharton can be slow is because he can move the ball 50 yards in 3 seconds. If you can't run 50 yards in 3, well, obviously no one can. But if you can't cover ground fast, then you move the ball fast. And that's how you help your team. I hope that made sense, Big O, because if it didn't, then I really don't know how to help you. Yeah, squad has too many weak links. Do we go counterattacking with more defensive fail-safes until January when we can get the players we need to? Okay, Philip, here's the problem. Our manager already said that he can't tell these players to stop playing the way he's trying to teach them to play. And he's not teaching them to bunker in and then counterattack, so I don't think he would do that. But I understand why you would want him to do that. And I understand in some games we probably in the Liverpool game, do you think we're going to go out and go like, you know, I can't say that word because it's a curse word. Do you think we're going to go all out and attack Liverpool and take the game to them? I don't think so. I think there'll be elements in that game, not every moment of the game, but I think there'll be elements in the Liverpool game where we will sit back and try to hit them on the counter. So I think there'll be a little bit of it. I just don't know if that'll be like our main way of playing. I don't know, Philip. Like, we do need some change. So that's a curious question. I don't have a real answer for that one. All I can tell you is, like, I understand where you're coming from, and we're going to wait and see what happens. I don't know. In the Champions League, if United didn't make it out of the group stage, they'd make about 20 million. Not making Europe saved 40 million in salaries. Marcus just came up with, like, did you hear that? Like, somebody who said, I think it was Big O, I don't know. Somebody said, we didn't win Europa League, so it's his fault. We didn't spend all the money to get all his players. And I said, I don't think we would have spent that much more money anyways. And Marcus brings up a great point in saying that if we got kicked out of the group stage, we would only make 20 million, but we'd owe 40 million in salaries. That's true. So making the Champions League, but not being good enough to get out of the group stage is actually really bad. You lose money. The team would lose money. You got to make it out of the group stage so you can at least break even in the next round, and in the following rounds you make a lot. Where we got here? How would you improve midfield? What's your idea? Oh man. Shit. What a question. How do we improve midfield with the squad we have? I'm drawing a blank because I literally don't believe in our squad, but I really would try. And this is coming from a guy who said, who's not said positive things. I'll hold my hands up and I'll tell you right now that tomorrow I would actually, it's not going to happen, but I would try Ugarte Mainu in midfield. I would try it for nothing else but to show the underperformers that I don't care. If you underperform, you're going on the bench. Even if I'm putting out a midfield I don't 100% believe in. Do you get what I'm saying? Just for standard's sake, just to keep the standards up. Edward Prempy, thank you so much, man, for the super chat. Guys, when someone's super chatting, is it popping up on the screen and showing that he's super chatting? Because I had that turned on, and now I don't see it. I didn't see that pop up, guys. It should be popping up with a name and every. Oh, I think that's in the watch along stream. There it is. Okay, hold on one second. I gotta turn off the scores and the scoreboard and the timer. There you go. Now it'll pop up the super chat. Sorry, Edward. You should have got a little pop up and someone super chatted earlier. Sorry about that. I'm new to this, if you can't tell. Hopefully we can move out some of the deadwood in January. I don't think that's going to happen, man. Like, I would be super surprised if we are able to sell Bruno in January. That would actually be amazing. Like, by the way, Bruno, I got to respect him for being with us for so long, for doing so many good things for us. So please don't clip me up and make it sound like I hate Bruno. But it's time to go. You know, it's time to go. And I would be so surprised if we were able to move him on in January and get him to go to Saudi. I don't think he'll go until the end of the year. I really don't. But if we did that, I think we could expect 2 or even 3 players to come in January. And that could give us a real chance to make a run for top 6. A real chance if we brought in 3 players. 2 players, and I'm hoping for top 7, top 6, so we can get to Europa League. 3 players, and I'm sitting there telling you, like, hey, man, we might be able to really make a run for even top 5 and see if the Premier League gets that extra spot in the Champions League. You missed one earlier from David. Yeah, I missed a David one. Sorry, David, but I do appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I did see it. I just missed the pop-up thing that pops up on the screen. I think we may be able to get Delo and Shaw out in January. Who's going to... Tactical Devils, what's up, Jarvis? How are you, man? How are you, buddy? I think we may be able to get Delo and Shaw out in January. Who's going to buy them, though? Like, I hope so. But who's going to buy them in January? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I think someone will buy them in the summer. Samix, you're doing a good job. It's incredibly hard to be positive in this period, but you seem to be doing it well. Am I? You know, Ty, thank you so much for your comment, dude. I'm not trying to, what do you call it? Like, I'm not trying to talk down your comment. I do really appreciate your comment. But here's the thing I want everybody to realize about that comment. I get that comment 5, 6, 7, 8 times a video that I make, okay? I get that comment, and I'm shocked every time. Do you know why? Because all I'm being positive about is the system and the manager. I'm being ultra negative about the squad. So I'm being, like, super negative about the squad, and people say, like, hey, man, I appreciate you being positive. And I'm like, huh? Because you know why that's happening? Because everyone deep down knows the truth. So I'm not actually being positive. I'm just being real. That's the way I interpret it. Because I'm like, I'm not being positive. I just told you we need to get rid of 8 players. Like, our squad is crap. I keep saying that in every video. And people keep commenting, hey, man, I really appreciate you being positive, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, huh? Okay, cool. I interpret that in my head as they actually mean to say, I appreciate you being real and telling the truth. Because the truth is, we're not in a positive place. I'm positive about the manager. I'm positive about him being able to turn it around, but I'm not positive that we're going to do it with this bunch of players. Do you get what I'm saying? But thank you so much, Taya. I understand where you're coming from, and I think I know why you said it, and I think I know why I get that at least 8, 9, 10 times per video that I make. I get comments like that. Even people DMing me on X, which, by the way, if you don't follow me on X, the link is right. I mean, my name is right there, @ManUnitedFC, man. Follow me on X, guys. so that you're up to date onto when I go live, because my schedule is it's not set in stone because my work schedule is not set in stone. Sometimes there are events I have to go to any day of the week, so I can't just plan exactly, but I will be trying to go live for every game on Saturday, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't have anything to do on Sunday, the Liverpool game, because I want to do that one live too, even though that's probably might be a big mistake. But yeah, I want to be live for the Liverpool game, even though it's not on Saturday. And I'll be doing lives like this every couple of weeks. Also, there's a membership, and if you guys are members, you saw the last video was 45 minutes long. I'll be making longer videos for the members that are a lot less edited and just a lot more honesty. And it just comes, I just speak what I feel. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't want this to be some sort of sales pitch. P.S. I agree this system would be perfect for Pogba. It actually would. Whoever said something about Pogba, that market... P.S. What's up, P.S.? Pogba would be perfect for the system. Pogba is a better Adam Wharton, is what Pogba is. Pogba is a better version of Adam Wharton. He's like he's high standards. All you need from Paul Pogba is heart and desire. If the guy has heart, like when he played for France in the World Cup and some games for us, if that guy has heart and desire, he's a good player. Not anymore, though. I'm not taking an old Pogba. Don't get me wrong. Like, guys, don't listen to me talk right now and, Samik wants Pogba back. No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm talking about Pogba in his prime, not Pogba now. And also, Pogba's, in the locker room, probably not the best thing. Probably not the best thing. Sandro Martinez could play in the midfielder in the future. What do you think, bro? No, because don't get me wrong. Guys are going to misunderstand what I'm saying now. Yes, there's an element to Ruben Amorim's game where there's a long ball. And Lissandro is one of our best defenders who can hit a long ball with his left foot. And we kind of need to keep that in the CB position. We can't really move that to center mid because the center midfielders have less time to hit long balls, and that's not Lissandro. Lissandro likes to look up like 3 times, maybe even have Ruben Amorim shout at him yelling, Ahmad, and then finally Lissandro will kick that long ball. And you guys know the game I'm talking about against City. So Lissandro in the midfield will take that weapon away from us, and it's a really good weapon. We need every weapon we can have. And like I said, Lissandro's long ball from the center back position is a good weapon we don't want to get rid of. Meeks, I keep going back and forth on how best to use Xerxes. Is there a case for trying him in a different role? Curious to hear your thoughts. I like Xerxes as an attacking midfielder, not as a center midfielder. I like Xerxes as an attacking midfielder. I don't like him in the striker position, which unfortunately right now I believe he is going to be the backup striker for Šeško. But I don't hate him in the striker position either. So the way I said I don't like him makes it sound like no. My preferred position for him is one of the 10s. My second preferred position for him is as a striker. But in both those positions, I would precede that with the word backup. He would be a backup 10 and a backup striker. Unfortunately, right now in this squad, those positions are taken by better players than Xerxes. Xerxes is good. I just don't understand why Xerxes is not getting every 20 minutes of every game that we're struggling in. That's what I don't understand. And unfortunately, I think it's because the biggest issues that Ruben sees during the game isn't Cunha, Mbumo, or Šeško. So he's unwilling to take one of them out because they're not the problem. They're not the problem. He's right in not taking one of them out because they're not the problem. The only thing I don't like about Ruben Amorim right now so far, if you want me to say something that, will tell you guys how that I am judging this manager fairly, is that at the end of the game, when we're losing by 1 and there's 5 minutes left or 10 minutes left, when he brings in players, I want them to be in attacking positions. I don't want a wing back at the end of the game. I want a winger. So when he brings in someone like Mason Mount, I wouldn't be like, hey, track back. I would change to a back 4 or a back 2 to be exact. I'd change to a back 2 with a CDM in front of them. And I would be like, hey, man, we're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at these guys. We need to get a goal back in the next 5 minutes. But only at the end of the game. I wouldn't change a system for any other moment but the end of the game. Pogba brought entitlement, social... Yeah. You give this manager leeway. What do you want me to... He doesn't do anything. Okay, Frank. Why doesn't he do anything? Please give me some details. You can go. I will read your comments. So go ahead. Like, write some details down and we'll have a discussion. But people who get in my comments or chat with me and say, this manager is bad, he does nothing. It's like, how do I argue or how do I bring up my points? He doesn't not do anything. He definitely goes to work. Okay. Like, is that all you wanted to hear as a counter argument? Like, tell me your argument. State the facts. And he sold our wingers. He sold our wingers. Great. So let's talk about that. He sold Garnacho. He sold Marcus Rashford. Guys, does anybody here believe that they had the right attitude to represent our club at the time they were here? Does anybody here actually believe that these players were team players, that they were willing to listen to a manager and take on new positions? Was Rashford willing to press in with the intensity that Ruben Amorim wanted? Was he willing to track back with the intensity that Ruben Amorim wanted? I think Rashford right now is in the perfect place. Rashford is exactly where he belongs. He belongs on a team in a league like La Liga where he doesn't have to track back as much and he is free to shine. And he is a great player. He's a good player. I don't hate Rashford, but he doesn't fit a high intensity workhorse type of system where you have to play just as hard on the defense that you play in the offense. Because guess what? Rashford isn't CR7. He doesn't get to slack. He's not somebody who's going to do something magical every single game so he can afford to like slack and people should cover his back. He's just not that great. He's very good. He's super good. I wish he was willing to track back and work hard because I would have loved to keep Rashford. I would have loved to keep Rashford. But it just didn't fit, and it was time to go. Like, he's been disillusioned. I don't even blame Rashford. If I played on that team for as long as he has and seen manager after manager after manager, failure after failure after failure, I might want to leave too. So I don't blame Rashford. Now, Garnacho, the spoiled brat, thought that he gets to dictate whether he starts or not in the Europa League because he scored goals. Dude, do you know how fast Sir Alex would have got rid of these guys? So don't in one vein compliment a manager for being tough on players, and then in the next vein ask a manager to let players slack off. Like, that's just not an argument, Franco. I'm sorry, Frank. Barca, Bruno is terrible captain. We need to get rid as soon as possible. I'm not going to say he's a terrible captain, but I do think we need to get rid of him. Why wouldn't I not say he's a terrible captain? From everything I've heard, from everything I've seen, Bruno is an amazing teammate. What I mean by that is if you just got signed to the club and you came from a different country, that guy will help you find restaurants, homes, people to help you move. Like, he is an amazing teammate from everything I've heard and seen. I have no doubt that Bruno is just an amazing, amazing teammate to have. So I'm not going to say he's a terrible captain. I am going to say that on the pitch, his decision-making, and we're just at a point where we need to move on and get someone else. But I pray that when Bruno leaves, someone else takes up that role of being like that big brother or that teammate that you can rely on if you're new. I mean, the things he did for Lenny Yoro, the things he's done for a lot of players when they first come in, the way he's like embraced them and helped them find homes, find I don't know, stuff, you know, like where to go grocery shopping, he's just a really, really good guy. He's a really good guy. And we need someone to take that role when Bruno leaves, because Bruno's going to leave at some point. And we need someone to take that role. Oh, I respect that, Samix, but I'm talking about on the... Yeah, exactly. I understand. I totally understand. But let's not say he's a terrible captain. We can say he's not great for the team. You know what I mean? But, like, on the pitch. Rashford is a good player. He's just not worth $300K a week. Big O, I agree with you there. I wish he would be, right? Like, I wish when he was with us that he would become someone who's worth $300K a week. I'll gladly pay $300K a week if you play like Lamine Yamal every week. You take the ball and you take it down their throat and you try to score a goal or make an assist every single game, every single possession. You get the ball, you look like a possessed man, like you've been taken over by evil football spirits that just want to crush opponents. And I'll pay you $300K a week gladly. You know? Bruno is a fantastic person around the dressing room and a captain. Yep. Yeah, he's a good guy, man. You can't say he's not a good guy. Maybe Bruno is too likable to be the skipper. You don't have to be like Jarvis. I think what I'm trying to say is like you can have Bruno as the skipper so people can call him if they fall in trouble or something happens off the pitch. Like he's the captain, you call him, you're like, hey man, I'm getting arrested for drinking and driving. Like I need your help. And then Bruno comes and helps you out. Like that's totally cool. He could still be the captain. But then we still need some players on the pitch who yell and demand standards and are like level-headed and you know, blah, blah. It doesn't have to have the captain's armband. You know, like Van der Sar yelled at the defenders all the time. He didn't always have the captain's armband. You know what I mean? And Van der Sar yelled all the time. Don't get me wrong. He's also been captain a couple of times. But there were a lot of moments where Paul Scholes yelled at everyone and he didn't have the captain's armband most of the time. You don't have to have that. We just need those players. He's definitely a terrible captain. Okay, no problem. Never mind. No player on our team is worth $300K. No shit. Yes, you're right. And like I said, for me, anybody getting over $250K a week is a man who every time he touches the ball, he looks possessed by demons who want to go and shove the ball down the opponent's throat. That's what I see when I see Lamine Yamal, when I see Vinicius Jr., when I see, I don't know, when I just see these players that you just like, every time he touches the ball, you're like, oh my God, something bad's about to happen to the other team. You even feel bad. You're like, you can't guard him. Like, you're done now. This channel would rather we get relegated than admit Amarim and his system is shit. 100% Black Mojo. That wasn't the dumbest comment of the day. Yes, I want us to get relegated. That's why I started a YouTube channel, so that no one watches. What is that? What is that? Like, why is there logic like that? Why do people have this logic? Like, I don't, like, how do I put this? I already talked about the wife cheating with the neighbor. I guess that wasn't good enough. So now I'm trying to think of another way. Like, the house is burning down, and someone goes, I really need to find a mechanic. No, dude, you need a fireman, not a mechanic. Do you understand? Like, what is Black Mojo about? And what? Change your name, too. There's no mojo in what you just said. There's, like, no gut. You know, mojo is like another way of saying guts, like bravery. There's nothing brave about what you just said. Nothing brave. At all. Other than maybe you think it's brave to say the most outlandish thing ever and see how I react. Well, this is how I react. I try to tell you that wasn't the smartest thing. That was as smart as Diogo Dalot's decisions. So that just tells me why you have the wrong opinion. Do you understand? Because you make decisions like Diogo Dalot does on the pitch. There you go. And that's probably why people make the wrong decisions and the wrong opinions. That's why maybe you back the players over the manager when the players are the ones burning the house down. Seems to be a lot of mixed signals around Amarim's future. Do you think Ineos have the stomach to see this through? Does Amarim have the stomach to deal with the media pressure? Philip, amazing question. Amazing question. Do I think that they're going to keep Amarim? I don't know, because honestly, if I look at it in business terms, there's got to be a cutoff point. Even though I love the man and I like what he's doing, I got to tell you, even I would pull the plug if we don't win, I'm going to say 5 or 6 of the next 10 games. Is there 10 games between now and Christmas? If we don't win 5 or 6 of the next 10 games, you got to pull the plug. If we only win 3 out of the next 10 games, you got to pull the plug. You have. Oh my God, Jarvis, thank you so much, man, for what do you call it? For gifting memberships, dude. That means so much to me. Thank you so much, because I think the members are gonna really love it. Guys, everybody thank Jarvis for that. That's the first time anybody's ever gifted memberships on my channel. I'll never forget that it was you, Jarvis. So thank you so much for that. Jarvis was also the first person ever like find my channel and post my video on his own YouTube channel to discuss. And I appreciate everything Jarvis has ever done for me, and the recognition he always gives me. And I really appreciate that. That's the first time. So guys, you guys who got gifted memberships, thank Jarvis. Please let him know that you appreciate it, because it's really cool to the fact that you got gifted a membership. Now you can go watch last week's video that I posted just for the members, and then I've got another one coming Tuesday of this week. Guys, yeah, wow. Thank you, Jarvis. That kind of like, I lost my train of thought, so I'm gonna read some of these comments to see if I can get back on track. Thank you, Jarvis. On Jarvis's channel, every time someone does something like that or does a super chat, they have like a jingle and a dance that they do. I don't have one of those, Jarvis, so I'm sorry. There's gonna be no dance and jingle, but I do appreciate it. Samix wants relegated so he can access cheap championship tickets next season. I'm actually going to be in Manchester next season to watch a game. But no, I don't want to fly all the way to Manchester to watch us play in the championship, Big O. Well, at the end of the day, players put their body on the line when they step out on the pitch, and they have to deal with consequences. Just my opinion, but players should always be respected more. What does that mean? So you're saying because the players put their body on the line, they should be respected more than the manager? And that if something needs to change, the manager should change? The only reason why good managers sometimes get sacked, and don't kid yourself, good managers sometimes get sacked, okay? And I totally understand it. Like I said, less than 5 minutes ago, I said that if we don't win at least 5 or 6 games out of the next 10 by Christmas, I'd probably sack him myself too, because I'd be like, dude, I got to, right? But then I wouldn't stop rebuilding the squad. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we will win 5 or 6 games out of the next 10. You can quote me on that. You can clip me up. You can put it anywhere you want. I think we will win 5 or 6 games out of the next 10. So I don't think that'll happen. But I would sack him. But anyway, let's get back to that comment. He said because the players put their bodies on the line, they deserve more respect. So does that mean that good managers get sacked because the players deserve more respect because they put their bodies on the line? The players get paid more than the manager most of the time. Some of these players do. A lot of them do. And they're paid to put their bodies on the line. I wish I was good enough to become a player. Do you understand? And by the way, their bodies are insured. If they're not stupid, their manager, their agent, and them have insured their bodies. So if their bodies get damaged, they would still make a decent living for, I don't know what. I'm not worried about their bodies being on the line. It's a part of any athlete's life. Any athlete, whether you're a football player or a freaking water polo player or golfer, you look at Tiger Woods' body. It's not the same as it used to be. There's a lot of golfers who you think, like, how did they get injured? No one's hitting them. There's a lot of golfers that get injured too. Anybody, any athlete can get injured for any reason. That's not a good excuse to say, the players deserve more respect than a manager. The only reason, that's what I was trying to say. The only reason why good managers get sacked sometimes is because it's cheaper to sack a manager than it is to turn over a roster. It's cheaper to sack a manager. It's cheaper to sit with a new manager and go, hey man, how are you going to win games? And the new manager goes, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pack the house. We're going to defend with everybody, and then we're going to hit them on the counter. And then next year, we'll buy 2 players, and we'll keep playing this way. And then the following year, we'll buy 3 more players, and that should be good enough for us to actually change our way of playing and play front foot football. It's actually what Ole Solskjaer did. He played that way, and then he brought in Cristiano Ronaldo. He brought in a couple of other players, and then went, okay, I think we're good enough now to hold possession a little bit longer and play more front foot attacking football. Nope, we weren't good enough. He started losing games because he changed from the sit-back counter to more front-foot attacking football, and he suffered for it. And that's not just my opinion. He said it himself when he was on that show with Gary Neville and Roy Keane. I forgot the name of it, The Overlap. You can go watch that episode where they interviewed him, and he pretty much said when he tried to change into more progressive front-foot attacking football, they started losing. And that's the other problem when you switch when you switch tactics, okay, when you go from, hey, we're going to sit back and counter, and then we're going to play front foot attacking football like a season later, the players get confused. That's why it's better to stick to one way, but man, we can't be losing games the way we are. So don't get me wrong, like, we do need changes, and it needs to start tomorrow. We need to see some changes tomorrow. Guys, I don't even know what time the game's at tomorrow, but join me tomorrow live. We need to see some changes, and I will try to point them out in game. I plan on really paying close attention tomorrow. I didn't make a big tactics breakdown video for the last game because honestly, I hated the last game and it made me want to vomit. But this next game, I am gonna make more of a tactical breakdown video like I used to make for the older games. What are we saying? What do you think about the point? If the players were giving 100% passion every week, it would be easier to blame Amarim. But Amarim's bad games happen to also have lack of intensity from players. 100%. That's the other, like, if the players made better decisions and they worked hard, like they did in the Arsenal game, and we kept losing by high margins, I would totally blame Amarim, but there's no way we wouldn't have lost. We were so close to winning most of these games. If these players worked hard, we would have won. And if they would have made a different decision than some of the decisions, bro, I swear to God, every game has at least 4 examples where we're on the break and a player has option A, B, or C, and C is the best option and A is the worst, and they go for A, not even B. Not even B, which is like, okay, that's a so-so option. They go for A, the worst one. And then here's the other thing. When they go for the right option, they put the pass behind the player. They don't pass it to his strong foot right in front of him where you're just like, why? You're a professional. I've seen better passes in like Sunday League. You're a professional. Why is this pass so bad? And guess what? It's not, again, like I'll come back to this again, just like I said earlier in the video. It's not because the players are super bad. It's because the inside's not there. The nerves are kicking in. These players are scared. They don't play with heart. They don't play with freedom. Your manager said it in the last interview he did. They play with freedom in practice. They go into a game and they crap their pants, all right? I've seen it in my own players sometimes. Where I'm like, bro, what happened? You were so good in training. And then we get to the game, and everything they're doing is wrong. They can't do the simplest things they can't do. And it's all nerves. Like, they literally, like, they get cotton mouth. Their heartbeat is going way faster than it was going in training. Like, these players as a group can't look at each other, look to your left, look to your right, and then just calm down because you're surrounded by players that you feel good about. And that's why I said that when these players move, they do better in other teams. They do better in other teams because before the game, after the game, during training, the players they're surrounded by look relaxed. They look happy. They look like believers. So they look around and they can't be scared out of their mind because they're like comfortable. You know, Rasmus Højlund right now in Napoli looks around and he's like, oh my God, like a weight's been lifted off his shoulders. Plus, he doesn't have to deal with the press, the YouTubers, the content creators, and I hate to say it, the toxic fans that Manchester United have. Do you understand? Toxic fans who call me toxic. Imagine that. I had one today saying I'm toxic. I don't want to be relegated. Look, I don't agree with everything well, some of you guys don't agree with everything I say, like Big O, right? Like PS. We have our disagreements. But they know, I can tell from those guys that they know I love my club and that I'm not trying to be toxic. It's just what I think. And I know they love the club and it's what they think. So there's mutual respect there. And then there's people who come in and just say like spew negativity and toxicity calling me toxic, which is crazy. But that's what these players have to deal with. I'm dealing with it as a tiny scale, and it aggravates me. At a tiny, tiny scale, and it aggravates me. It gets under my skin. It will keep me up in bed going like, why did that guy say that? What an idiot that guy is. And the truth is, the guy's probably not an idiot. It's just he's in an emotional state where he feels that way. But he's taking it out on me, which is the same way I feel that people are doing when they're taking it out on Amarim. Instead of taking it out on the real problem. Underperforming players. Underperforming players is the real problem. Okay? So when these players leave, they're surrounded by players who aren't underperforming, who are comfortable, and they get comfortable, and then they start performing. We need to build that in our team, right? But the only way to build that is to bring in new pieces. Bring in new pieces who are confident, surround before it's too late, because believe me, the longer these three guys behind me stay in this team with this confidence level, they're going to get infected by the same virus. They're going to be infected by the same virus. Guys, this is exactly why I believe Mainu was so good 2 years ago and slowly started to kind of taper down instead of tapering up. He's supposed to taper up. And he's a little bit tapered down. Now, he can go back to his levels, but I think he's surrounded by everyone infected by this virus. So you're going to catch a cold if you're around a lot of people with a cold. You're going to catch it. Or you demand to go out, that's why I can't get mad when a player is like, I want to be sold, get me out of here. I can't be mad. Remember when Wayne Rooney was talking about leaving and everybody got mad at him for leaving? He didn't leave in the end because he found out that there is a plan to build and leave. You got to respect that for a man's career. You got to respect a man who's like, hey, man, I got a short career. If you don't show me you're going to rebuild a squad, I'm out of here. I don't blame players that want to go. I can't blame Rashford for wanting to go to Barcelona. Not that I think he demanded to leave. I think it was a mutual thing. I don't think he ever wanted to leave, to be honest. But once he saw that it was being pushed out the door, he's like, I want to go to Barcelona. He's super happy over there. He's performing. He's playing football again. It's okay, okay? He's around players who aren't infected by the virus. The virus of being scared in games and having low standards. That's the virus we have in our squad. And the only way out, unfortunately, is not a manager. So I'm sorry, switching managers isn't going to cure that virus. It's the wrong medicine. It's the wrong medicine, okay? A manager takes healthy guys or a healthy group and makes it stronger. This group is sick. We need to separate them, bring in a new group, and then let's see what the manager can do. That's where I come from. We are frustrated fans, and we have every right to feel so. I 100% agree with you. I'm frustrated too, though. Here's the thing. Do you think I'm not frustrated? So just because I have a different opinion than some fans, does that mean I'm not frustrated? Are you crazy? Like, yes, I'm frustrated. If you came to the last watch along, I wanted to punch somebody. I pay $60 a month for a football subscription. Matches are usually after 11 p.m. Bro, I wake up at 3 a.m. I spend over $100 per jersey every season. I've got all three of those guys' shirts in that closet, and they're all from manunited.com, and they're all the Premier League ones, the expensive ones. I have three of those in there. All three of these guys. I understand exactly where you're coming from, Fat Thor. And Fat Thor, by the way, I remember you from my early days. I know you were with my channel a long time ago, but I know recently you disagree and I think you want the manager out. Correct me if I'm wrong. You want the manager out, so you kind of disagree with some of my content. And that's fine, man. But again, don't think that I'm not frustrated. I'm just as frustrated as you, and everything you just put up there, I've paid more, and I've woke up earlier than you for. I'm just as frustrated. I'm not going to say I'm more frustrated than you, because that's not true. We're frustrated equal amounts, but we see the solution differently. Do you understand? I need to make sure that the solution that I see makes logical sense in my mind. Because guess what, man? If we change managers and it goes to crap again, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm going to look at you, the fans that wanted the manager out. I'm going to be like, what now? You want another manager out? Is that what you think is going to solve the problem? Yo, you can put me in charge of Real Madrid and I'll win most of my games. I might not win La Liga. Don't get me wrong. I'm not that good. But I'll win most of my games because the squad is good. Our squad is crap. Like, as a group, again, I'll say it again, as a group, not individually, as a group, they're infected by this virus. When they separate from each other, they'll heal. That's how it is. When you look left and right, you need to have confidence. That's not happening right now. Dude, you know how many times Rio Ferdinand said that whenever he was worried, he'd just look in front of him and he would see Cristiano, Tevez, Rooney, and he would go, oh, yeah, they're going to score goals. That takes the pressure off, and then he starts to perform and play free. Right now, man, these defenders look in front of him and they see Casemiro. They see Bruno making mistakes. They see Diogo Dalot to your left or right. And you see Luke Shaw to your left. I don't know, man. No, bro, I didn't disagree. I have been out for a while because of work, but I've been watching your work. Always supportive of your efforts. Thank you, Fat Thor. I remember you from over a year ago, man. I remember because I always liked that name. Thank you, man. Well, guess who's the most frustrated of all? The man that don't even sleep at night. Who's that? Simix, you are the best football. I'm not going to read that, but thank you very much. I'm not going to read it because it feels weird to read something so complimentary out loud. But I do appreciate the kind words, man. Thank you. I don't think anyone started off rational and didn't call for a manager to be sacked. I don't think anyone started off rational and didn't call for a manager to be sacked. I'm not sure where you're going with that, Ayush. Sorry, I'm misunderstanding it. I really wish Lies from SDs watch your videos. I don't know who that is. We can't watch 3 p.m. Saturday kickoffs in the UK. They are not televised, which is so weird. That is something your government needs to change. I understand why, because they want to grow the championship or whatever, the local. They want local players to go. Either the Premier League needs to stop kicking off at 3 p.m., which is also a good solution, so that the smaller clubs can get... it's so weird. Like, there's a lot of weird rules that I just don't understand. By the way, since we're in the subject of the UK and weird stuff and weird rules and things that I don't agree with, why is it that the best league in the world, the Premier League, has some of the worst referees in the world? Why are the refs so bad? Honestly, MLS referees are better than Premier League referees. Not 1-to-1. Don't get me wrong. Like, the best Premier League referee is probably better than the best MLS referee. But as a whole, MLS referees are so much better than Premier League referees. Like, we just follow the rules. Like, why? What is it? Like, I don't get it. Is it just like a cultural thing? Like, everything has to be freaking... I don't know, man. I don't want to go on about this because I can say some really rude and mean things about it, but I don't want to pick on it, pick on a country and their referees so much. But believe me, your referees, if you're from the UK, are trash. They are so freaking bad. They're like idiots. They're literal idiots when they're like, I would hate to disagree with you, so I'm not going to unless it's clear and blah, blah, blah. What's his name? Mbumo did not have control of the balls, hence it's not a red card. Bro got pulled before he could control. Like, what the are you talking about? Hey, don't exaggerate to me. Be cool. Unless you watch MLS, you can't say I'm exaggerating. And I know you don't watch MLS. I think it's more about bias, some corruption possibly as well. That's true too. How do you have referees that literally like go, oh, I'm a Liverpool fan, so I hate Man United? It's like, bro, what? You can't be doing that, man. And that's the other thing. Like, no, that can't happen. That can't even be a possibility. That can't happen. Like, they need to strap them to lie detector tests and find out like if they would actually ref a game without bias. And then I'm not saying let them go. They can still ref football games. They just can't ref games that their teams are involved in or teams that they grew up hating are involved in. You know, I guess they shouldn't. They can't ref any games though, because what if it comes down to the end of the season and like they need a certain team to drop points so that their favorite team gets to Champions League spot, and then they're reffing the game. Like, let's say they need Brighton to drop points so that Liverpool can be in the top 4, and now they got a game Brighton against Sunderland. They're going to favor Sunderland because they want Brighton to drop. Yeah, it's all messed up, man. Oh, no. Hold on. You said MLS refs are soft on Messi, too. No, I'll give you that. MLS refs give Messi anything he wants. I think they're starstruck there. Without the big names like Messi and even Beckham back in the day, Beckham used to get fouls that I was like, that's not a foul, but I'll take it because I was an LA Galaxy fan. I am an LA Galaxy fan. But yeah, let's not talk about Messi and Beckham getting calls. That's for sure. But I'm talking about like just normal in-play stuff and VAR checks. VAR checks a little bit faster in the MLS than they are in the UK. And then when there's a VAR check, I'm not saying they don't make mistakes, but I'm saying 90% of the time after a VAR check, I'm satisfied with the result. Whereas in the UK, I would say 70% of the time I'm satisfied, 30% of the time I'm like, what is that? David, exactly. Take it out of refs' hands. Well, now I'm curious to see what the players have to take the decisions away from the refs and put the effing ball in the net. 100%. 150%. I hate when players go to ground. I love when players stay on their feet and get aggressive and try to score a goal and not worry about the ref. The rules are more complex, and having more time to analyze plays gives them more time to mess up the decisions. 100%. That's true too. Like the wording and rules, you're just like, what does that even mean? It blows my mind how VAR gets stuff wrong. Yeah, it's like you're watching it in slow motion and going, huh? Are you watching what I'm watching? Like, what is the VAR ref looking at? Does he need glasses? But you know what's the problem is? Like, the VAR ref is sitting next to another VAR ref, and they're talking to each other, and they're like, well, I don't agree with the call on the field. And the other guy's like, well, you'd be insulting him if you do that. I don't know, man. Like, it just feels weird. It doesn't feel... Somebody just needs to make a real decision and be like, dude, look at it. It's a foul, and it's a red. Champions League refs somehow better than EPL refs. No, they are. No, I'm telling you, I'm convinced. Like, German refs are better. Italian refs are better. Spanish refs are better than Premier League refs. I'm convinced of that. Portuguese refs are better in Portugal in a smaller league than the big Premier League refs. They just are. That's facts. How do you see Mason Mount fitting into Amarim's plans? Him being back is like a new signing for United. He gives the right intensity and work rate, and he gives competition for the number 10 roles. You said it. You just said it, Victor. You said everything. I don't think he starts tomorrow, but I think he's on the bench, and he is definitely probably the first choice to come in if he's 100% fit. If we need someone to come in to help with intensity and work rate, that's the guy. If you need someone to come in to help with hold-up play, it's Xerxes. If you need someone to come in to hold on to the ball because we are up by 2 goals, it's Mainu. You use your pieces depending on what you need in the moment of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I come from. So that's how I think he fits in. He's a piece with certain weapons or certain strengths. If you need that strength if you need to increase the intensity and work rate, you put him in. Make sense? And that's how a squad is built. You don't get a bunch of the same weapons. You get all kinds of different pieces and weapons, and then you make adjustments in game. Our press is so much better when we have Mount. Yeah, I will tell you right now, Mason Mount pressing versus Cunha pressing is night and day. Cunha's pressing is not as good as Mason Mount's. But Cunha on the ball when we have possession is a much higher level than Mason Mount, right? So you start the game with a man like Cunha and you try to get the lead. And then you adjust depending on what happens after, 60 minutes. Per VAR, UK refs' accuracy was 85, 86%, while other refs was 91, 92%. With VAR, both have gone up 4 or 5%. Huh, interesting. I want to look into that myself a little bit deeper because I have other questions. Our press is so much better when we have... Yes. It's cultural. It's respect my authority rather than getting it right. Correct, Ben. I believe that when it comes to ref decisions. Michael Oliver has had business dealings with Man City. No way. That should definitely not be allowed. That should be like prison time. That's like super cheating. Tomorrow, Mainu can be key in breaking a low block. Man, I am so curious as to who's going to start the game tomorrow. I cannot wait to sleep, wake up, and watch this game tomorrow. I hope you guys join me. We had 557 views, 96 concurrent viewers. It was a pretty good stream we got going on today. Hopefully we'll have the same kind of thing tomorrow. Guys, we've been online for about 120 minutes. For an hour and 20 minutes, I do have to go now. I actually did 20 minutes longer than I thought I would go. I just saw the clock and I went, ooh, crap, I'm going to be late. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for Jarvis, if you're still here, for the memberships, man. I super appreciate that. Guys, we're going to be live again tomorrow. So if you're upset that I'm getting offline right now, I'm going to be back tomorrow for the watch along. Be there. I'll make the thumbnail, and it won't be there right now for you to like turn your notifications on, but I will make the thumbnail before I go to bed. So probably about 12 hours before the game, you'll see the thumbnail. You can turn your notification on. I'll be live. I usually go live either 15 minutes or 30 minutes before the game kicks off, so we can have a little discussion before we kick off the game. Thank you so much. I really have to go. Like I said, I'm later than I thought, as I usually am when I do these things.